Say what you want about this individual, because I know a lot of people have varying opinions on him. But I've been listening to Rich Piana a lot during my cardio sessions recently, and he has a philosophy that honestly just speaks to me so much. And it's as simple as this: the more you put in, the more you get out. And he goes on to say something along the lines of, people understand this concept, but when it comes to bodybuilding and when it comes to the gym, people see it as like it's the one area that doesn't apply. Like, bodybuilding is one of the few things that you can do too much. You can overtrain, which is a topic that you guys know I absolutely love bashing the shit out of. But the premise behind it, it's not just like training. Can you overtrain? Yes, but people's conception of overtraining is completely misconstrued, because the people that talk about overtraining don't even look like they train at all. So they have no right to even talk about overtraining. But besides the point is that the more due diligence that you put into learning about your nutrition, what foods work the best for you, what exercises work the best for you, what split works best for you, how you structure your day, what time during the day lifting works best for you based on the season of life that you're in, how you can progressively overload as efficiently as possible week by week, workout by workout. And it goes for everything in life. It genuinely does. It's not just bodybuilding. It's not just lifting in the gym and getting a good physique. It goes for business. It goes for your relationship. The more that you put in, the more that you get out. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing and seeing excuses from all of these people who say that they want things. They say that they want these desired results in whatever area of life it may be. They say they want X, but then their actions don't match the words that come out of their mouth. And it's just complete blasphemy to me. It's like, if you say you want it, if you truly want it as bad as you do, then you should be willing to do what is required in order to get that. And if you're not willing to put in more to get more out, then you don't really want it as bad as you say you do. And you have to look in yourself in the mirror, have that honest conversation with yourself, and be like, yeah, I really don't want it as bad as I do. Because if I did, I would be doing what is necessary and doing what is required in order to make significant strides towards that goal so that I can achieve it on a long enough time frame. If you want to gain weight, I'm gonna continuously use the gym and bodybuilding as an example, because it's my forte, I guess you could say. But when it comes to that, the people that always say that they're naturally skinny and they have a fast metabolism and they struggle to gain weight, just eat more. And they're like, oh, well, I already eat this much and I'm still not gaining weight. Okay, then just eat more. If you want bigger arms and you're like, oh, well, I already hit arms like twice a week and I do X amount of sets, then do more. And for some reason, people are like, oh, well, I don't want to overdo it. Well, what you're doing right now isn't giving you the result you want. So why wouldn't you do more? You have to at least find what that limit is for you at the current stage that you're at, and find that threshold to where you're like, okay, maybe I am doing a little bit too much. I'm not recovering as much as I want to. I'm not progressively overloading every single week. And if you're not, then maybe you do need to dial it back. But most people don't even get to that point. Most people, their limit is here, their bar is here at the current level that they're at, and they're not even like giving 50% of what that limit actually is. And don't get me wrong, it's nerve-wracking to go to that limit. It's nerve-wracking for me every single training session to get under a bar, whether it's benching, whether it's squatting, whether it's any exercise. it's nerve-wracking every single training session, doing a weight that I'm not comfortable with because I've never done it before. I've never done this much weight, and I'm aiming for this amount of reps that I've never done before because I'm trying to PR in every single lift. And not PR from like an ego perspective, because I don't do 1 rep maxes. I don't do sets of 2 or sets of 3. I'm saying PRing in terms of my working sets done with proper form. And I'm doing weights that I've never done before in my life. So yeah, it is nerve-wracking taking yourself to that limit. It is nerve-wracking getting under a squat bar and being like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stand up with this weight. And it's going to suck having to throw the bar onto the safety rack and have to squirt myself out from under that. It sucks having to go to that limit where your mind tells you to stop at rep 5, but you told yourself you were going to get rep 8 and you have no idea how you're going to get the extra 3. Like, that shit is nerve-wracking, don't get me wrong. And it's honestly scary to go to that limit. But just like anything else, the more that you do it, the more accustomed you become as a man, and the more adept at going to that limit and feeling not comfortable, but just used to going to that limit, that it becomes second nature. Like, I'm at the point now where I can't even imagine stopping a set before I genuinely cannot move the weight anymore and going to failure on every single exercise. I can't even imagine finishing a set before failure, excluding warm-up sets, of course. It's like, I can't even fathom that. And I was talking to one of my boys yesterday on the call, and I was like, he's kind of struggling with like turning his brain off and like just doing the work that he needs to do. And I told him simply that. I was like, I've done it so long that, yeah, I still have that resistance in my mind to where I don't want to train every single day, but I train every single day because it's like, it's a part of me now. And the feeling never goes away. The resistance never goes away. The bitch part of your brain never goes away. It's always going to be there. But as you continuously do it more and more, you become more capable at shutting that noise off and just doing it regardless. Because now it's to a point where I can't even fathom. There is genuinely not a reality in the multiverse that exists where I will not train that day. It doesn't exist. Because I've been doing it for almost 1,500 days straight. I haven't missed a single training session in 1,500 days straight. I have done some form of training every single day for almost 1,500 days straight. Think about that. Think about how much you can accomplish if you were to do something for 1,500 days straight, every single day. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be lifting, it could be a sport, it could be a skill, it could be a business, whatever it might be. Think about that. If you were to do something for 1,500 days in a row and do it to the best of your ability when you are in that craft and you are doing that thing, imagine the amount of progress that you can make. People overestimate what they can do in 30 days, and they underestimate what they can do in 30 weeks. That's a paraphrase of, I think it's a Warren Buffett quote. He used like 10 years or something as like the reference point, but the point still stands. People think that they can get some result like super quick. They overestimate what they can accomplish in a short amount of time, but yet they underestimate what they can accomplish over an extended period of time. And it's because people lack consistency. They lack the ability to show up every single day and put their all into something, regardless of how they feel. They understand the concept, like I started this off with, the Rich Piana concept of the more that you put in, the more that you get out. They understand that. And they say that they'll do it. But when it comes to actually doing it on a day that it's the last thing that they want to do, and they wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and maybe they're tired, and maybe they're arguing with their girlfriend, or maybe they're slightly hungover from the night before, like whatever the excuse may be, when those variables come into play that add even more resistance on top of the bitch part of their brain, that they just continuously justify why it's okay to, oh, one day won't hurt. Oh, one day here won't hurt. One day there won't hurt. But I want to share something with you to finish this little rant off. And it's a story about Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer. He, at the peak of his powers, when he was winning all of those gold medals, he did not miss a single session in the pool for, I believe it was like 8 years straight. It was from like 2002 to 2010. He didn't miss a single day in the pool of training. And in one of the interviews that I watched with him, he mentioned a concept that, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it makes sense in my mind. He said that if you take one day off from any craft, he used swimming as an example, obviously. He said, if I take one day off at the pool, let's say I train on Monday and then I take Tuesday off, it will take me to Thursday to get back to where I was on Monday before I took that day off. So it'll take an extra 2 days to get back to just baseline to where you were before you took that day off. That's why consistency is the most important thing. Because regardless of whether or not that's true or not, I believe it is, which is why there's so many things in my life that I do every single day. Because ever since I heard that interview from him, it made complete sense in my mind. I was like, yeah. Because once you break that consistency of doing something every single day, you lose that momentum. And it'll take you a significant amount of time, 2 days, matter of fact, to get back just to baseline before you took that day off. And most people, their days off are so frequent that they're just running in this cycle of stagnation to where they're not making any progress at all. And they're wondering why they're not making any progress. Yeah, the days that they aren't working, they may be giving it their all, but on their days off, they're not doing anything. And maybe some of them are even self-sabotaging themselves, which is not only keeping them in that cycle of stagnation, but it's even deteriorating them. It's even making them make less progress and get worse over time. And they're like, and in their mind, they justify it as, well, I'm working hard 4 days a week. What's wrong with taking 3 days off and being able to enjoy, quote unquote, myself? And it's like, well, why wouldn't you do it every single day? You know, like, don't get me wrong. Rest is important. Recovery is important with everything, anything in life. But there's ways to recover outside of just sitting on the couch and doing nothing. Like, I get rest from, just going on drives and being able to just sit here and be with my own thoughts and express them to you. I get recharged in the sense, and I recover by, talking to people that I care about and having deep intellectual conversations that fill me up and give me energy. And, I get energy from that. I recover in that way. I don't see recovery as taking time off or taking days off. I have other avenues of quote unquote work, I guess you could say. It may not be classified as like real, like hard work, but I have other things that I do that still move the needle closer that may not be directly correlated to that thing, but it refills myself. If I imagine myself as a battery, it refills me to the point where I don't need to take days off, because the people around me, my environment, the situations I put myself into, the people that I communicate with in my circle, all of them love me deeply. All of them support me deeply. All of them give me something that I want, and I give them something that they want. That may sound shallow and that may sound transactional from a relationship standpoint, but that honestly is the best relationships that I have, is the ones who not only care, but we give each other something that both of us want, whatever that might be. And if you can surround yourself with those type of people, it makes taking days off like not even in the question, because you just have an endless amount of energy and you always feel recovered to the point where you can just be like, why would I take a day off? I feel great. Like, obviously you're not going to feel great every single day, but on the days that you don't feel great, all it takes is one text message, one call, one like voice note, whatever it might be, to that person, and just be like, this is what I'm going through. Like, let me know what you think. And then that person responds. They recharge your batteries. They lift you up. They support you. They fire you up, whatever they do. And you can attack it in the next hour or whenever you get after it. And you're just like, yeah, it's like, I don't understand why people take days off. I genuinely don't. Because you get 70 years on this planet if you're lucky. And you get one shot at this. Regardless of whether or not you believe in reincarnation or whatever it might be, you get one shot at this life, the life that we're living right now. So why not make the most of it? Why not do everything in your power to achieve the things that you want to achieve? Because on your deathbed or in your last waking moments of this life, you're not going to be thinking about, I wish I took more days off. I wish I, recovered better here or recovered better there. You're not going to think about that. You're going to think about, what impact did I leave? What subsect of people did I have around me? Were those people truly beneficial to me? And was I beneficial to them? And what did I do in this life? Did I do enough in this life when it was all said and done? I genuinely think that's what I'm going to think about. And I'll be damned if I get to the last waking moments of my life and I sit there and I think that I have anything left in the tank. If I have anything left in the tank when it's all said and done, I've done a disjustice to not only myself and my own potential that I have on this planet, but I've done a disservice to God, because I have not fulfilled the potential that He has given me, and I have not made the most out of it. So think about that. The next time that you want to take a day off, the next time that you want to rest, the next time that you want to ease up, take your foot off the gas a little bit, just think about that. I'm usually not the one to do that type of stuff, but like, it genuinely, skylines like that, and like, it really makes you appreciate the little things in life, even like, for example, what happened to me the other day with like the whole sickness that I was going through, and like that whole day, it makes you appreciate like the little things that honestly a lot of us take for granted, like breathing, like being healthy, like regardless of whatever like stage of health you're at, like you don't even have to be in insane shape, just like the ability to have functioning limbs and a functioning brain. Like, you could easily, one little thing could be off in your brain and you could be a vegetable. You could have been born like that. You could have been born blind. You could have been born deaf. You could have been born with a disability in your hand or a disability in your arm or your leg or something. Like, there's so many different possibilities that something could have went wrong and it didn't. Like, you are a fully functioning and fully capable human being. Think about that. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it up a bit now. Why the fuck are you taking it for granted? Why are you just autopiloting through your life like you have time, and you're making all these excuses like you don't have the greatest gift in front of you that God has given you already, which is life itself? You are a fully functioning human with a fully functioning brain with no disabilities. Unless you do, I apologize if you do. But if you don't, you have zero excuses to make. You have no excuse to why you should not be working as hard as you physically possibly can every single day of your life in order to make your dreams come true, so that you can leave a positive impact on the people that you care about. Point blank, period. Every single excuse that comes out of every single person's mouth, I have a rebuttal for it. I will go toe to toe with every single person on this planet. Every single piece of excuse, bitchness, I don't care what it is. Every single thing I have a rebuttal for. I promise you. I will go toe to toe with everybody. I don't care what your upbringing is. I don't care what your current circumstances are. I guarantee you there is at least one person on this planet that has it worse than you and who has done it better than you and has still achieved the things that you want to achieve. I can 100% guarantee it. With that being said, make the most out of every single day while taking the little things for granted. Being able to just look at this beautiful skyline on the way home from work today, being able to enjoy the breath in my lungs, be able to enjoy not feeling my heartbeat in my throat like it was a couple of days ago, being able to enjoy the fruits of my labor from the money that I earn every single day. It's a beautiful thing, being able to enjoy the health that I have, being able to look myself in the mirror and be proud of the physique that I built, even though I'm far from done and I'm still going to continue progressing in all of these areas. Don't get me wrong, I'm still trying to get better every single day. But every once in a while, you need to look at the bigger picture and look at how far you've come. That's something that I've struggled to do a lot. It's just always been, for the past, I would say, 2 years straight, it's just been go, 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 better, 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 better. And I never, up until recently, took the time to actually sit there and think about how far I've actually come in such a short amount of time. Because I've told you guys this before, like 2.5 years ago, I was still doing drugs. I was still drinking 5 times a week. I was still going out, partying, giving into all of my vices, masturbating, watching porn, doing all this bullshit. And it's just like, 2 years, it's not a lot of time. And the amount of progress that I've been able to make mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, in my relationships with men and women, it's ridiculous how much progress you can make in such a short amount of time. Because yeah, 2 years may seem like a lot if you're 16, 18 years old, because 2 years to a 16-year-old is a lot more of a percentage of their life compared to 2 years of someone's life if they're 40, for example. But still, 2 years in the grand scheme of things, when you zoom out over your entire life, let's just say you're lucky enough to make it to 70 years old, 2 years of your life is nothing in the grand scheme of things. But the amount of progress that you could make in just 2 years is astronomical. And I'll be the first to admit that myself, I haven't worked as hard as I possibly could over the course of this entire 2 years. And I've still made an insane amount of progress. And I guarantee you that the progress that I made from being an absolute degenerate to the point that I'm at now, from right now and the next 2 years, it's going to be not even in the same stratosphere in terms of the level of progress that I made. I'm going to make 100 times more progress in every single area of my life in the next 2 years compared to the last two. And it's going to be like that every single 2 years. And I'm not saying that you have to put it in 2 year blocks, because honestly, just in 3 months, you can make a shit ton of progress. genuinely in 90 days, you can become a completely different person in 90 days. If you want it bad enough, and if you put in that much effort, if you have that level of obsession and drive and hunger, and it's all you can think about, and you forget to eat because you're so immersed into it, and you forget to sleep because you're so immersed into it, and it's all that you do, and it's all that you think about, and it fully consumes you. If that's you, 3 months will go by, and you genuinely will look back at the version of you 3 months prior, and you'll be like, that motherfucker was a retard compared to me now. That's how I feel. It's September 27th right now. You got to think. August, July, June. June 27th, just 3 months ago, I don't even recognize that version of me compared to now. Yeah, the physique may not have changed that astronomically in 3 months, but the physique is the one thing that does take a little bit more time. Granted, can you do certain things to exponentially increase the speed in which you change and manipulate your body? Yes. But with that being said, I'm taking more of a not slower approach, but I'm doing it in a way that is specifically for me tailored to get me to 200 pounds at 8% body fat by the end of 2025. So regardless of what your goal is, whether you want to lose weight or whether you want to gain weight, you can take the methodical approach, or you can exponentially speed up that process. And I guarantee you in 90 days, you can make a drastic change in how you look. But when it comes to your mentality, when it comes to your financial situation, when it comes to the relationships that you have with like-minded men, if you're a guy, if you have a strong community of brothers around you, that could be extremely advantageous to your progress and how much progress you make. Because I personally have a very small circle of guys in my brotherhood, and they're each and every single one of them is fucking killer. He is an absolute killer, every single one of them. And because of that, we feed off of each other in the sense that no one wants to be the bitch of the group. No one wants to be seen as the one who's essentially lowest on the totem pole. We all compete against each other in one way, shape, or form. And it's a healthy masculine competition to the point where I have the best physique in the group, objectively. That is not a subjective opinion. That is not a subjective statement. I objectively have the best physique out of my close-knit circle of friends. The competitive nature in me isn't just going to be like, oh, I get to coast now and I get to, rest on my laurels because I'm already the one who's got the best physique in the group. Fuck no. I want to eternally, for the rest of time, have the best physique in the group. So I can't slip up. I can't miss a day. I can't miss a meal. I can't slack off at all. Because if I do, I know that those guys are working even harder to try and catch me, because the wolf on top of the hill is never as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. But you have to always have the mentality of the wolf climbing the hill, regardless of whether or not, if you're at the top or not. If you're in a circle of friends, if you zoom out over the grand scheme of things, over the entire world, whatever it might be, and whatever objective metric of life that you are measuring by, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, in your relationships, financially, doesn't matter. Whatever you are competing against, it could be yourself, it could be your friends, it could be somebody out there in the world. Not comparing, remember, because comparing is it's a slippery slope, because you can get caught up in that and you can start chasing things that aren't truly authentic to you. But with that being said, when you compete against other individuals, that is extremely powerful, because masculine competition is endless fuel in order to do what is required in order to achieve the results that you want. That's how I am physically, that's how I am mentally, that's how I am financially, that's how I am spiritually, that's how I am in every single aspect of my life. I'm always competing against someone, And if I'm not competing against somebody else in the world, I'm competing against myself. I'm competing against the version of me yesterday. Am I better than the version of me yesterday? Am I doing more weight than the version of me the last time I did this workout? Am I doing more reps? Am I getting closer to the body weight and the body fat percentage that I want to get to by the end of this year? Week by week by week. I measure it out. I track everything. Same thing with financials. Same thing with my results when I run the store. My sales, my average ticket, my percentage of how many people I sign up to premium membership, whatever it might be. Track everything, because everything that gets tracked gets improved. Not saying that you have to be overly autistic about it and overwhelm yourself and track like how fast it takes you to brush your teeth, because stuff like that is retarded. Brush your teeth properly. It doesn't matter how fast you do it. But when it comes to actual tangible metrics that move the needle closer towards the man that you want to become, track everything, because everything that gets tracked gets improved, because you can see it with your own two eyes. You can see it right in front of your face. You can say, okay, yesterday I did this, last week I did this, last month I did this. Let's be a little bit better than that. And if you just aim to be a little bit better than you were yesterday, and you stretch that over the course of a week, over the course of a month, over the course of a year, you'll look back, just like I am now on my drive home, and you'll look back and you'll be like, I don't even recognize that version of me, because I'm so much farther ahead. I am such more of an evolved version of myself, because I've tracked everything. I've not taken the little things for granted. I've been grateful for every step of the process. And I've understood that because I appreciate the little things, I do not take a single thing for granted, and I make the most out of every single second of my day. And if you can just do those things, it doesn't matter what area of your life it is, I promise you, success doesn't become a matter of if. It doesn't become a question. It just becomes a matter of when. And in reality, the when doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, yeah, everybody wants to be a millionaire at 18 driving a Lambo in a Miami penthouse. Sure. Everybody wants to have the success as early as possible. But if you do it in a way that is authentic to you, deep down you really don't care about the time frame, because all that really matters is getting to the end of your life and being proud of the man that you became and proud of the impact that you left on this world. So I'm gonna end it off here, because I know that you guys can barely see me, because it's starting to become that time of year where on my drive home from work it's becoming very dark outside. Gotta love northeastern Ohio. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single one of these videos that drop every single day. And I will see you in the next one.